finally got that one letter off and mailed to you, and now we're going to be able to tell you a little bit about where we are. Our house is really nice. Our bedroom is just huge, more than twice the length of the bed and quite wide. And Carl's and Barbara's room is really the dining room, but it's very narrow. It's off the living room, but it's fine for their two beds. Our living room is big, but we don't use that much since the dining room just has French doors off of it. So at night we don't use the living room, but rather sit in the bedroom. Our kitchen is big, and we have a very small refrigerator and stove, a nice aluminum sink, stainless steel sink. Our yard is really huge. We've got about 10 banana trees, but only 3 of them have bunches of bananas on. The other day when Carl was out in the lawn, I guess it was one of the first days we were here, he was watering, I told him to water the banana plants, and he said, "These are not banana plants." I said, "Yes, they are. Look, there's a bunch of bananas." They were sort of hidden by the leaves, and he hadn't seen them. So a little later, we looked out the back window, and there he was with a hose reaching up trying to water the bananas themselves. He certainly has had fun watering with that hose. Barbara loves to play out in it, too. So far, neither of them have gotten sunburned, but Carl has a tan where his shirt isn't. We have to be careful. Barbara, she gets a little red, but she isn't tan very much yet.
They certainly got me busy building stuff here for tables and things. I've been spending half my time down at the lumber yard. They've got a kind of angle iron here with holes punched in it, and we put the pieces together like an erector set, and we're making Carl a bed, and Joan's mad at me now because I went down and spent $5 on K-Pock, and we're going to make a K-Pock, we're in the middle of making a K-Pock mattress for the bed. But it's a real good idea, actually, because you can take it apart, and since we're going to be on the move, you can just pack it up in a package. We've got a boy working for us. He's not really a boy. He's got 2 children, one of which is older than either Carl or Barbara. But he seems to be real nice. He's got a cataract in one eye, and he looks as if he's in need of some clothes, but we're paying him the prevailing wage rate, which kind of makes us feel bad because it's only £4 a month, which amounts to about $20 a month. What is it, $27?
$12.
What's that?
£4 is less than $12. Only we're paying £5, which is about $14.
Yeah, well, it comes to about 20 when we get through all the stuff we're saying. So anyway, he's working for it. He's been doing some of Joan's ironing and washing, and yesterday he spent the part of the day out in the yard cutting off the old brown leaves of the banana plants. Well, we're back to the bananas, aren't we? Well, looks like we're going to start our school tomorrow, or Monday. We haven't really been doing very much studying. Some of the fellows have been listening to the tape recorders with some of the African-speaking Swahili on it. And they practice along with the tape saying some of the words and learning how the language sounds when someone else speaks it. But we're going to start in earnest on the 1st of next week. Sunday, our other 2 families are coming in from Brussels.
By jet.
Yeah, by jet. So we're not too sure just exactly when they're arriving, but we're going to the airport Sunday morning to try to meet them when the airplane from Elizabethville arrives.
The stores downtown are just really wonderful. There's what they call an OK Bazaar, which is a fancy 5 and 10 cent store, really big. Then there's another economy stores, which is like a 5 and 10, and still another standard department store. And they've got everything in. The prices are a little bit higher than we expected after hearing people rave about how cheap they are here. They're actually higher than at home, but probably about the same price as Brussels. And of course, less expensive than in the Congo. We found canned foods quite inexpensive. We've been buying a lot of those, but plastic things aren't as plentiful as in Brussels or at home. Clothes aren't bad, but not on the very nice fashionable side, mostly just plain work clothes. The stores really look nice, though. There are a lot of little dress shops and baby shops and bookstores that we haven't been able to find time to go in yet. We're living in a whole community that is devoted to mine houses, and all these homes are built by mining companies. There are no stores in this area at all. Everybody has to go into town, into Kitwe. It's about 2 miles to shop, and so everybody has to have cars here. The Africans live in their houses, also built by the mining companies, but of course in another part of the area, which isn't too good. These houses are all serviced by the mine. We've had carpenters come around to fix the screens and plumbers to fix the plumbing, and just have to wait for the right man to come to fix whatever you send in on a list that needs to be done. Tonight I got out the tapes. This is the first time we really had the tape machine going since we got here, and I was trying to find an empty tape, and in the process I played some of the music. You should have heard Carl answering you back. He hasn't heard them for a couple of weeks. Yes, Grandma, I'm sleepy. It's time for bed now. Grandpa, what did Grandpa do to Sardi? Why is she squealing? And he goes on and on like that, answering all your questions and yelling at you, Grandma, I went downtown today, and Grandpa, make Sardi bark. And he goes on, and it's real cute hearing him. We're going to have to tape him answering you sometime. Probably just the time when we tape him, he wouldn't say it. Carl listened to Jack and the Beanstalk again, and oh, he really loved it tonight. He told us which side that it was on the opposite side of one he was listening to, so we had to play it all the way through so he could hear it. And he can understand the story more or less now, and so he appreciates it more. In the bedroom and Carl Barber's room and the living room, we have great big wide windows, like picture windows, but they're in panels, more or less, but they go straight across. Casement windows, okay. We needed draperies for them all, and it takes an awful lot of yardage. So we went downtown and looked both of us different times, and I decided on some diamond-shaped, pastel-colored plastic that I saw. Then when Gil went down, he liked it, so we bought 22 yards of this stuff at about 50 cents a yard. 4 and 6, 4 and 7 and 28. Oh, it's closer to 60 cents a yard. And it was 48 inches wide. We've got it now up on all the 3 windows. It really looks nice. The thing is, we can always use it for shower curtains. You need an awful big shower. For bathroom curtains or something later if we ever get proper drapes. In between our house and the Nussbaum's house, he's the linguist expert here, who's here to head up our Swahili teaching. There are 2 other houses occupied by mine employees, we suppose. And then after the Nussbaum's house, there's another house that's occupied by somebody else. And then we have 2 houses in a row. One, the Kendalls, with Dick and Evelyn, and their 2 children, Jimmy and Debbie, are living in. And on the other side of the Kendall's house, all these are duplexes, by the way, but they're so divided so that you hardly know that you're in the same house with somebody else, and we can hardly believe that we're under the same roof with another family. The bushes and hedges go right up dividing the house. Anyway, on the other side of the Kendall's house is what they're going to use for classrooms. And one single girl from the women's division, Marie Armenia, will live there. She hasn't come yet. We've all been busy out here getting our houses cleaned up and the curtains up, and I guess we finally at last feel settled in. Our 6 pieces of luggage, which were coming by air freight, we were all authorized to send things air freight because it would take at least 3 or 4 months to get our boat stuff here, and we needed enough to set up housekeeping. Anyway, our air freight hasn't come. Gil went to Ndolo, which is about 40 miles from here today, and it hadn't come in on yesterday's plane like it was supposed to, but we're hoping it'll be there Sunday. He tried to call Elizabethville today, which is just, about a 3-hour drive. Tried to call up there and get information on whether it's arrived there yet. And after waiting an hour in the telephone booth, the operator finally told him that the lines to Elizabethville were broken for the day. As soon as the school starts, I'm going to watch the children in our backyard, and we've got an African girl who's going to come and help. I just met her today for the first time, and she seems real nice. She's finished 6th grade in school, which is high for them, and I think we're going to get along real well. while she's here, she's a girl from the Bemba tribe. I'm going to try to learn Bemba from her. That's a language that's spoken all over northern Rhodesia, and a lot of the people in Livingsville and Jattaville speak Bemba. And if you go in the villages, that's the language they speak mostly. And a lot of the women, not being able to speak good Swahili, nor of course French in the Congo, could understand me if I could speak Bemba to them. So I've got a book, and I'm going to start in as soon as I can on that.
Since we've been here, I've been trying to figure out what I could say to explain what this place is like. And it seems to me that the closest thing I can say is that it's something like Texas or a little bit of Florida. It's dry and hot, and it has this foliage, and the ground about